Good morning. We're in Exodus 21. Exodus 21. Now, these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. Verse 2. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. 3. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. 4. If his master hath given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Seven. If a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the manservants do. 8. If she please not her master, who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. Let's check up there on that one, because that's kind of... #21. It says, if she does not please her master, who has designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her for a period. First, he shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has broken faith with her. Okay. In these type of chapters, we're going to see a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of parallels there. So we're gonna go over the footnotes after we do this, but you know, well, I'm just gonna leave that alone for right now. Okay, we'll keep reading. So in 21, we're in 21. If she do not please her master, okay. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. Okay, right, right. 10. And if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Okay. So basically he's saying, okay, so if dude marries another woman, guess what? You still have to take care of your wife that you're not seeing no more. Okay, and that's what we see today with alimony or whatever it is, that kind of thing. I wouldn't know. I've never been married. Um, so yeah, that's what you see today. You know, just because you want to leave, guess what? You still have to hold that load of the burden of marriage. Ask Tom Brady. Ask any of them guys. You know, that's the way it works. Oh yeah, we'll butter you up just so you can marry us, and guess what? Oh, gotcha. Love bombing. Somebody told me that the other day. I said, "What is that?" I said, "Okay." Uh, so we're getting into some interesting stuff here. Okay, so Jesus Christ, you are the Father. I hope that wasn't blasphemous. Forgive me, Lord, if it was. I'm just stating facts. Um, and if he do not these three things unto her, okay. 11. If he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. Okay, so basically you say, okay. All right, we'll leave that alone. He's given a full spectrum of the situation. Okay, if he doesn't take care of her, even though he's with another woman, then she shall leave. It kind of hurts, but it is what it is. Without money. He that smiteth a man so that he die shall surely be put to death, and we follow these laws today. Death penalty. Okay. Life in prison or death. I can probably tell you that death would probably be better than life in prison, because prison can be pretty bad. People don't understand that, and that's good. It's supposed to be bad. It's not supposed to be summer camp or something like that, but 13. You'll be lucky. Nowadays, if you go to prison in Georgia, you're not guaranteed to come home from that. Yep, there's wars all the time. If you're not in a gang or an organization, you're just meat on the bone, okay? And even then, even as a gang member, you're not guaranteed to come home. Okay? And if you're not a gang member and you're not filthy rich, you're gonna live a miserable existence. Period. All right, now 13. And if a man lie not in wait, that's just further proof of sin in God. When you do bad things, you end up in bad places. Which is further proof of God. God's been telling us all along, hey, don't steal, don't kill, don't covet, all these things. But when you do those things, guess what? You end up in places like that. I've been there several times. And I tell you, it's not real. It's unreal, the amount of chaos and mayhem and all that stuff that goes on. I mean, dude, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. You would not believe it. But I'm gonna leave that alone for now. People out here, they say, "Oh, we don't like police. Oh, they're controlling us." In there, you would be begging to see a police officer, to have some type of order or some type of no. There's nothing to be found in there but you and nothing and terror. Okay, so everybody that says they hate law enforcement and oh they're all over us and all that, no, they're trying to protect you. Um, okay. And the whole foundation of society that we have today, with government and police officers and all that, is all coming from this. Okay. All right. 13. And if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hand, and then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. So let's look over here. But if a man, 14, but if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, thou shalt take him from mine altar, that he may die. Okay, this is getting interesting right here. All right, let's go over here on 13. So there's a difference between manslaughter and murder. Okay. If you're in a position where you just have to kill somebody, like they're trying to kill you or something like that, it's basically self-defense or something along those lines. There's a lot of different circumstances, but there's a difference between that and premeditated murder. Like you just went out of your way to kill somebody. You lied, you snuck up, you planned it. That's different. But it's different where a situation kind of just arises at wrong place at the wrong time type thing or something like that. That's manslaughter. That's different. Okay. That's where we're going, and it's getting interesting here. So we're in 21:14, 13. But if he did not lie in wait for him, but God let him fall into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place which he may flee. But if a man willfully attacks another to kill him by cunning, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. Okay? And that's like the manslaughter thing I was saying. Like if dude pulls up and he kills somebody because he just had it coming or whatever, that's different. I mean, not had it coming, but just like a spur of the moment type thing, and God is saying if something like that happens, then God let that happen. You know, if dude tries to strike you down and you strike him in the process, or somebody enters your house where he's not supposed to be there and you kill him, that's manslaughter. You know, he has no business there. And guess what? God is saying, hey, I let that happen. So there's a difference, and they'll let you flee. They'll say, oh, go to the next city. We're not going to kill you because you're not wrong for killing him. At the same time, there's still a price to pay. You have to leave. Then they have sanctuary cities for that. Don't quote me on those exact. There's different situations, but it's something along those lines. Okay. So we're moving forward. And these same type of laws, the same stuff we practice today, divorce, alimony, all these things still apply. This is where we get the foundations of our society and our ideology as a Christian nation and world. This is our world ideology coming from God. This is how this works. This is the way things are supposed to be done. And people will say that morality is not a real thing. The other day, somebody was on a channel and they said something like, "Is it wrong to violate a child sexually? Basically, to rape a child." Bad example, guys. I know. I'm sorry. But dude said, well, that depends on who you're asking. Dude said, no, that's not a right answer. He said, well, no. The other guy said, well, no, morality doesn't exist. It's all about your values. And dude said, no, that's not right. It's really not right to violate a child. And I'm going to leave that alone right now. But obviously, that's not something you should do, period. But according to Buddy and a lot of the atheists, they say, oh, morality is not a real thing. Ethics is not a real thing. It's all about how you've been programmed. But the other guy, in support of God and everything, he's saying no, that's not true. Morality is a real thing. It's across the board. It's automatic. And I agree. If it's not something you would want done to you, then it's not something you should do to somebody else. Period. That's where the moral compass comes in. Okay? You don't want somebody to steal from you, so you don't steal from other people. You don't want somebody to rape you, so you don't rape other people. That's how that works. Yeah, I'll leave that alone for a minute, but I can tell you, it can get ugly, especially in other realms. I feel like one if in some of these realms, these demonic realms, when we get in our addictions and stuff like that, and we go down these holes, we're just getting raped by these demonic stuff. We're getting basically raped, and that's all they'll do. I bet you when we get if the people that ever go to hell and stuff like that, that's all that's going to be going on. Is people just getting raped and tortured. And I hate to say that, but they're evil, man. They're evil. Um, it says there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. What are you weeping for? I mean, something's going on. There's something happening that you're weeping. I mean, what else do you expect can happen? What do you expect can happen? Okay. Well, good morning. So the devil and those demonic forces are going to try to have any type of suffering and despair they can put on you. Any type of suffering and despair they can do to you, that's their goal. To have you in the worst possible situation. Until that happens, their mission is they're not satisfied. Now, how all that works, I don't know. All I know is that that's how that works. And unfortunately, until those things happen, we don't want to turn to God. But I can tell you, they can happen. You know, I want to say I hit rock bottom this time. When I went to jail this time. I was headed to prison again in the claustrophobic cell with a roommate I couldn't stand. And I was just like, what is this going on? I'm going to lose my mom while I'm in prison. My dog's at home. She's all alone. They don't want to talk to me. I have nothing going on in my life. I have no money to support myself in here. I'm not cut out for prison. Um, what's going on? What is this? And it dawned on me. Well, I'm not saying I have it beat. I'm sober today, but it dawned on me that well, I forgot where I was going with that, but it's a terrible feeling to know that nobody really wants to talk to you. You don't want to really look at yourself in the mirror, and you can't even face the day without having these terrible thoughts, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm off on a tangent now, but it sucks that you have to lose everything. And then it dawned on me, I think, that I had to hit that low spot again to try to come up with a plan to try to let God take over again. And I'll leave that alone for now. And that's where the channel comes in here. All right, so let's move on. Oh, and one more thing. When I was in prison, my son never gave up on me. I called my son. Oh, hey, Dad. Every day I'd call him. He never gave up on me. Oh, can't wait for you to come home again. All right, son. Thank you. He never gave up on me. Yeah. So it can get complicated, but I'm just giving you some outline of what's going on. And we've made a lot of progress. We're doing the channel. Yep, we're doing the channel here. So, all right. So, I don't know where we started on that, but okay, here we go. Oh, an update. I took my dog to the vet, y'all, and because it was sick and it tested negative for worms, they said it could still be a tapeworm. But they said fleas can cause tapeworms, but the dog was running a fever. And y'all know Gracie, she's on the channel a lot. But they gave her a 60-day or a 90-day swallowable pill chew for fleas. I gave that to her, and that should help. But other than that, the geriatric blood work came back good. The blood's good. There's no worms, so things are looking good for Gracie. She was running a fever. She's overweight. Can't really do much about that, but the dog appears to be okay, other than a couple of tumors here and there. But so Gracie's okay. They also gave her 2 pills, one for inflammation, one for pain, and I gave her both of those. So Gracie's okay. That's the update. But a lot of the whelping and discomfort and whining that we were hearing was probably from potentially flea bites that she couldn't get to. So she took an internal flea chew. It's supposed to last for 90 days. And that's supposed to help out a lot on that. So, nails clipped too. So, thank y'all for y'all's prayers. If y'all prayed for Gracie, she's okay. But she was running a fever. All right, so moving on. Now, this is one of those big things that they say. They say God is pro-slavery right here. God is pro-slavery. And I've heard different debates on this. I've heard different debates on this. They say that it's not slavery. It's not like they just snatch people up and just put them into work. No, people would come up and they would make them work. I mean, not make them work. They would make them go through these things to become a part of the society. It wasn't just like, oh, you're a slave. That's it. No, it wasn't like that. But it was always a. We're gonna get into it right here, but God is not pro-slavery. But that's a lot of the time people say that. Um, and on another note on that is that you're either a slave to Christ or you're a slave to the world. You're not just a slave to nothing. You're serving. You're serving something, whether it's yourself, the world, your addictions, the devil. You're serving something. You're a slave. That's me or anybody. Even Paul says, hey, or one of the New Testament guys, hey, I'm a slave of Jesus Christ. Yeah. So, okay, if men, no, 17. No. And he that 15. Exodus 21:15. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. Okay, if you kill your Menendez brothers, if you kill your father or mother, you'll surely be put to death. It happens. I almost killed my dad one time. Really? I'm surprised he didn't die. 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or he be found in his hand, he shall surely. There you have it. How is God pro-slavery when he just said, if you stealeth a man and selleth him, or he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death? You can't steal people. It says it right there. So how is God pro-slavery when he just said you can't steal people and sell them? He's obviously not against he's not against slavery. I mean, he's against slavery right there. It just says it. Let's read that again for all of you people who say that God is pro-slavery. 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. There you have it. If you sell a slave, you're dead. Period. 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 There you have it right there. That shuts down everything right there. But they don't want to read that verse. They want to read the one after that. No, they want to read the one that's 2 verses down at 18. Period. Case closed. All right. 17. And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Okay. All y'all cussing out your parents, that was me too. Y'all would have been dead in old times, bro. Facts. You don't curse. You don't curse at your parents. Period. Okay. 17. No, 18. If men strive together, and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed. 19. If he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. Okay, so right here, it doesn't say anything about slaves. Okay, right there. It says if men fight. Okay. If the man heals up, you're okay. If he doesn't, then you're in trouble. And if a man smite his servant, or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, 21. If he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Okay. 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her. And yet no mischief follow, he shall surely be punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. So here you have judges. Okay, it's not just, oh, you owe me your whole house. No, it's there's judges that determine this. Okay. It's not a runaway system, which is what the world will have it. The world will have a runaway system. No, there's judges. As above, so below. We will also be judged. (23) And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life. Okay. So if y'all fight and a woman is pregnant and in the tussle, y'all damage her and the fetus. Okay. And all of a sudden, oh, guess what? Now they want to go after Buddy. Okay. Oh, let's go take care of that. Let's handle that. Okay, if y'all kill the man, guess what? We got to kill you too. Yeah, he deserved it. But guess what? Now you have to be killed too, because that's the law. All right. End of story. Okay. So we're not saying that y'all killed the baby intentionally. Y'all was fighting. But guess what? A baby died. An unborn baby. Okay. It was an accident for the most part. Y'all didn't try to kill the baby. But the baby died. Okay, but guess what? Leave that alone. He'll be punished according to what the judges are going to say. But you take matters into your own hands, guess what? Now you have to pay. If you kill him, now you have to die. That's the mischief that follows. (24) Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. 25. Burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. 26. If a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish. Okay, if you damage your maid servant's eye and they lose it because you smacked it or you hurt it, guess what? You have to let them go now. And if he smite out his manservant, 27, and if he smite out his manservant's tooth or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. If you knock their tooth out, Now you have to let them go. But what they're saying is that this is not just some slavery where they snatch people up. And no, it's an agreement they go into. Okay, you want to come into our culture and live under our society? Okay, well, this is what you need to do. You're going to be under a period of slavery or servitude for 7 years, I think. I'm pretty sure back here it said that 6 years. Okay. If thou buy in verse 2, if thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. So any amount of servitude, I think, is just 7 years. Not just 7 years, that's a long time. But it's not just some indefinite amount of thing they have here. We need to make that clear. Okay? It was not just some indefinite slavery. No. Whoever they came across or whatever, and you can't steal a man. You can't just snatch people up and have them enslaved. That's not what was going on here. The people that came were coming willingly. I'm pretty sure. So okay, now we're running out of time. So before we go any further, I want to check the footnotes on what we've done so far, so that we're not overloaded with footnotes, because this is a footnote-worthy area. All right, so we stopped here at we stopped at 27. Okay, so we're going to check the footnotes on 21. Really, the end of 22. So let's check the footnotes on that. See if we can get any cool, not cool stuff, but just. So let's see. Bear with me as I read the footnotes. Oh, so one of God's main characters is his justice and his, when you hear about these laws and stuff and how everything has to be answered for, and that we're supposed to treat people how we want to be treated. There should be a shining principle through these things, that we see the character of God and how he is fair. It's someplace you'd want to be, as opposed to just lawlessness. But this is God's character shining through, because it's coming from him. And we should be seeing through this God's character. Okay, this is order. This is good. This is something that is necessary. This is something that is better, obviously. God is always better. And he's always getting better. He can't get any better. But anything he gets involved in is going to be an improvement, whether or not you see it or not. Okay. And that's a character of God. When God steps in, it's going to be better than it was before. Okay? Period. When God created the world, there was nothing there. Then you had life. Okay, you can move around. You can experience things. Not always good things, but you can go. You can experience good things. You can you enjoy your food. There was nothing, and then you had experience. You had life. Okay, so anytime God is involved, it's going to be improvements and more appreciated things, more order, stuff like that, fairness. Okay, a better way of doing things. God is always going to have that going on. Okay, and once you realize that's God's character, that's something you want to be on board with. Not to mention, it's the only way. He's going to be recognized in the end. Okay, whether it's you begging for mercy to take you out of hell, or whether you're in heaven praising Him or serving Him, or on the earth serving Him, whatever you're doing, you're good. He's going to get your attention one way or the other, and that's another reality that we need to come to terms with. They're free to pursue moral excellence. And it says that slaves are recognized as full human beings, not possessions. They are not included. The slave regulations or servant, whatever you want to call it, is not included in. I'll just leave that alone for a second. But yeah, there is laws protecting the dignity of the servants. If they're punished, if they're abused, if you can't steal people, you can't sell people. There's laws protecting the dignity of the foreigner and the servant and the slave. Okay, but you can't steal people and sell people. You can't do that. Period. End of story. That throws the whole thing out the window. They're saying. Okay. So, like I said, a slave is a 6-year job, a 6-year thing. On the other year, on the 7th year, they can go free. And this is an image of the Lord's creation. And debt was the most common reason that people became slaves. And there was laws to prevent exploitation. Okay. You shall not wrong a sojourner or oppress him. That's in 22. That's coming up in 22, 21 through 24, and 23, 6 through 9. You shall not wrong a sojourner or oppress him. Okay? Period. So you can't steal people, you can't sell people, you'll be put to death. Also, you cannot wrong a sojourner or oppress him. Period. There's punishments, there's laws for treating people and dignity, and you can't just do people any kind of way. Period. God is not pro-slavery. Thank you. Goodbye. So we're done for the day. I didn't finish the footnote, but it mentions the accidental pregnant woman hit. We're on YouTube at Preach Facts. We're on TikTok at Preach Facts 7. But we have judges, third parties that are not biased. It's all intended to remove corruption. We want an honest appraisal on this, and I'm sure corruption was found its way, or favoritism, but that's the whole goal, is to keep a neutral line of justice. Okay, that's why we have judges. We don't want some type of favor pulled, or you got pulled or whatever. No, that's not what we want. Okay, that's not what they want. They want an equal justice so that we have a reason to do right. Okay. All right, so we're good. We did the footnotes on that. So yeah, we did a lot. We're done. Have a good day.